Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be reading a multi-character thriller by me. So let's get into it. Kamado Tanjiro. Tanjiro did not usually look at other people. He wasn't a pervert. He hated that, and he also did not like the idea of people staring at his sister. But even without thinking of it that way, it was simply disrespectful and he refused to do it. But sometimes, one's eye could wander. And to whom it might wander, it was you. It wasn't his fault. It really wasn't. You were really beautiful and everyone in your class loved you. And it didn't help with the staring. You always wear a short skirt. And Tanjiro could only watch. This time, you bent down, and every time you turned out to look, but this time you couldn't help it. He stared, unable to close his eyes or look away. And what he didn't know was that it was so easy for you to feel his burning gaze on your back. You turned around to see him, and blushed brightly, feeling embarrassed that he was staring at you. But he went completely red, burying his face into his hands and looking away. Feeling embarrassed that you saw him do that. He was going to apologize later. Hopefully. Zenitsu stared a lot. It was common with him, to be honest. He didn't know how to tear his eyes away when there was a beautiful person in front of him. And it didn't help when that person was you. You're his crush, and Zenitsu has been fanboying over you for as long as you could possibly remember. And today was even worse for him. It was prom, and you were wearing a short dress that was all flowery. It had glitter on it, soft, and it made you look like a princess out of a Disney movie. And he was only human, drawn to you like a moth to a flame, blushing brightly as he stared at you, feeling like he might get a nosebleed if he keeps this up. But eventually, you felt him. It didn't help with the muttering that he was doing, talking about how beautiful you were. He turned around, blushing, a little bit shy. Well, he just jumped, squeaking and apologizing to you loudly, before rushing away. It was cute, and you wanted to see him more now. Hopefully I wouldn't be too scared next time. Inosuke didn't mind people staring at him. He thought it was out of admiration, because he was flashy and strong and beautiful. He didn't care about being beautiful. But it was just one more thing to add to his list. He was perfect, wasn't he? Amazing. The Lord of the Mountains. A nickname given to him by his friends when he was little that he treasured forever. And even though he was very confronting and forward usually, that didn't mean that he would never stare. In fact, he was quite comfortable with it, not knowing that was rude. He was horrible when it came to social cues and needed help with them. So you were just standing around with those tight clothes that you're wearing. Pants, black ones, that accentuated your curves in all the right places. And the white shirt. It was a simple outfit, but it was somehow perfect. And what made it all the more dazzling was your beautiful face and your hair. Everything about you was perfect, and Inosuke could not tear his eyes away, staring, feeling like a man starving on a desert. And when he turned back to look at him, he just smiled shyly, waving. And he didn't run. He smiled, because he recognized his stare. He liked having a strong stare. Surely that meant he was strong and recognizable. Not that staring was weird and people could recognize it. Surely not. And once you were done looking what you wanted in the store, You walked towards him, introducing yourself, while he fancily introduced himself as well. You liked him, and you could tell he didn't have any bad intentions, and that's why you approached him. And slowly, after you talked for a bit, you exchanged contacts, going from acquaintances to friends, and hopefully, you were soon to be something more. Giyuu Tomioka. Giyuu was a very brooding man who was mostly known for his stares. He was quiet, always staring at those around him. It was hard for him to utter a word due to his silent nature, and also the fact that he didn't like communicating with people. He was introverted by nature and found it hard to break out of his shell. And today, you caught him off guard. Completely, horrendously. He was drinking coffee when you just walked by him, laughing with your friends all loudly and bright, and it felt like he couldn't breathe, like the sun had just come into his eyes. He couldn't close his eyes or tear them away, feeling like he was hypnotized. And when you turned back to look at him, when your friends pointed out that he was staring at you, and also because it was easy to recognize when someone was staring at you like him, you smiled shyly, waving, because you like to use your opportunities. And Giyuu was just one hot man you could not pass up. Rengoku. Rengoku was not a weirdo. In fact, he liked to be obvious with what he did. He was loud, naturally so, and he also was a social butterfly. He didn't mind coming up to people and talking with them, even if they had just met. And today was one of those days where you met someone so wonderful that you had to talk to them. That person being you. You worked in a coffee shop, and you were talking with the customers while he made it for his order. And he stared, because he just seemed so cheerful and happy. Not like all the other tired college students you saw. He was a college student as well, so he didn't blame them, knowing how tiring it could be to be a barista. But it also made you stand out. And once he noticed him staring, he smiled a little, shy, and called his name for his order. And from then, Rengoku took that as a signal to approach you and make conversation with you. He wanted to know you more, and perhaps you could even be friends. He liked that possibility very much. And even more, he couldn't deny that you're beautiful. So he wouldn't mind if friends could be something else entirely. With you, all the possibilities were simply delightful.